Morning. So this video is going to be kind of a few days worth of work trying to get cleaned up. I got out of work this morning. I'm going to try and get over and get rid of the tank, get that put in storage that's in the trailer, get back, start cleaning up, get some yard work done today, tracks off the four-wheeler, that type of stuff. But there's a chance I'm going to get special invited into work, so I'm going to do that because being at the top of that list is a lonely place. So try and get a bunch of stuff, but it'll be a few days worth of work getting cleaned up, but I should be most of the way done by this week, if not all the way done this week. But Bricks is with me this morning. He's pretty stressed out, so we'll get this done, then we can start on the other projects. Transport tank, that's back in storage now, which is good because it was supposed to rain tomorrow night, so now that thing won't get wet. It's all dried inside. And then I figured, why I'm here in the storage trailer, I might as well bring the kids' four-wheeler back so they can get some use out of that. The frame that holds the tank in the trailer is just rough sawn hemlock. It's 2x8s and 2x12s, or maybe they're 2x10s, I don't remember. And then it's angle brackets that hold them together, and then there's the threaded rod with plates underneath. So this just fits together like a puzzle that I take out every year. When I take it out though, I leave it out. I don't put it away completely. That way it can dry, just because there's always a little bit of sap or water underneath. But I'll get the four-wheeler out and then get this thing taken apart. So I went to take the tracks off the four-wheeler and realized that I hadn't washed it since Maple Weekend, and there were still footprints all over it because the kids climbed on it and, well, it was muddy. And then the tracks were all muddy, so I figured, you know, even those things are tool, I probably ought to clean it before I put it away and get the tracks off, so get the pressure washer out. But now this actually works a little bit to my advantage because I can throw the tools that I need in the basket when I bring it down there to put it away. So.
So we finished putting all the tires on the four-wheeler, and now we have to pick up all of the tracks.
All right, tracks are off the four-wheeler and put away, so now I got room that, well, I don't have room. I have to move all this stuff out of the way. Bridget, Bricks, and I are headed to go pick up well, a new surprise. One of the guys at work, he got rid of his toy, so there's a piece that's gonna go on mine now. So we've got the green tractor behind us, and we're gonna go see if we can pick this thing up. So it's the next day, and I got a bunch done yesterday. Well, and I said that I was going to get something, so well, I got busy, but now I'll show you what I picked up, because it was a good deal. It's not exactly what I wanted, but when you get a good deal, you take advantage of it. So here's what I picked up. One of the guys at work was selling this root grapple, and it was cheap money, like cheap enough that I couldn't say no to it. So Bridget and I went and picked that up yesterday. I don't have the hydraulics on the tractor yet. Those are coming. They've all been ordered, but once those come in, I'll do a video and put those on, because that's going to be pretty involved. But I know a lot of people with the tractor I have want to add third function, but I'm adding third, fourth, and fifth to get it to do what I want. But yeah. The first thing I'm going to get done this morning is I've got to serve some eviction paperwork, and I'm not really happy that I have to do it, but it seems like it's something that, well, I do a bunch. The birds moved into the barn, and they're getting evicted this morning because I'm done with it. And I told Aaron, I said, I'm done with playing this game with the birds every year, that when I take this firewood out, they move in and then they crap on my tractor and, well, everything else. So what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to take and close this whole wall in and make it a wall, so there'll just be the overhang and I won't have the firewood in there anymore. But then I still need firewood. So what I'm going to do is, probably on this side, I'm going to take and put some posts and then make basically a firewood bay, that there'll be enough to have the same amount of firewood. It'll just sit outside the barn. But then I've still got to have room for all my crap though. So what I'm going to do is, for pretty cheap money, I'm going to build the same lean-to on this side of the barn. I'll just extend the roof out and then pour some concrete and then have a storage spot there. So rather than only having the storage on the one side with that little overhang, it'll be twin. So it'll actually match and look a little bit better. But yeah, and then honestly that side is the north side, so it'll keep the sun off it a little bit better too, so that like attachments and stuff aren't getting baked in the sun. We'll put the wood over there and some other stuff, but yeah, but I'm gonna evict the birds now. There, temporary bird eviction until I can get the wall built, and then I don't have to worry about it. But this will keep it by. I'll just keep the birds from coming in and out, and now they can't crap on my tractor. Every year I end up doing a bunch of plow damage, because the hero with the tractor that plows this place likes to put the gravel down here on the grass. So there's a bunch here. There's just a little bit that got tore up with the sod, but there's reclaimed gravel all over the grass, which going through mower blades is not awesome, but it does put an extra special edge on them, so that you got to get that cleaned up. But then down here is where like it all gets pushed off, and there's a bunch of sod here, a bunch of gravel. So I'm gonna use the power broom, push all this into a pile, get as much cleaned up as I can, and put some of it back. It's not all going back, that's for sure, because a lot of it's junk. And then over here a bunch got piled up in the kind of in the woods, and over here some stone from the drip edge got shoved off in the bushes. So, and then up there on that side there's a bunch of gravel that I've got to get it cleaned up. So I'll get the power broom going and see how long my arms can handle that thing, because there's a bunch of power broom in here. yard is cleaned up. Well, as good as it's gonna get for now. Gravel's all pulled back off the grass because it doesn't really belong there. So now it unfortunately is time to tackle the evaporator. So I'm gonna get the two-legged boss and get her to help because I gotta get the hood off the back, which she's not gonna be a big fan of helping because it's awkward and heavy. But then get it rinsed out. I'm gonna give it a quick wash inside and then get it filled back up and put the acid to it so that tomorrow when I'm home I can get this thing clean the rest of the way, and then that's it. So I got both hoods off. The small ones for the front isn't that dirty. It's just kind of got some crud on it. That's more just a wipe down. The back one this one's pretty dirty. Inside doesn't look terrible, kind of just a wipe down, but like up top there's a bunch of crud on it. It's kind of just cruddy, but inside here it's dirty, but it's not terrible because I cleaned it once mid-season, so now it's just a matter of draining it, put the pressure washer to it, and then soap wash, and then I'll fill it up, a little bit of heat, and let the acid work. So I'm kind of doing a few things here at once. Cleaning the evaporator, that's all got the rinse done on it. Now I'm just waiting to fill it, but the RO, that's got the last rinse cycle going. I just did the last soap wash, so rinsing that, and then that'll be put away for the season. A little bit more water left to run through that. But what I'm gonna do this year is, and I can't remember if I said it or not already, I'm gonna do a rinse cycle like every 3 weeks. I'll put like 100 gallons down here, rinse it through, and then call it good with that. Kind of a pain in the butt, but then I don't have to deal with more chemicals in it. It'll be easier, and I don't have to worry about things going wrong. Keeps the pumps exercised, keeps the seals moving. Everyone says it's better, so I'll try it. I just hope I remember that I need to do the rinse cycles. Water's in the pans, fire's lit. Oh, I got smoke coming out because I don't have the thing on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some acid, pour the acid in, and then just bring this thing up to a simmer. And once it gets to that, then shut down the fire. So that warm, the bricks being warm and everything will keep that acid warm in there, but it won't boil it off, so that this thing will be able to see it. I'm pretty sure the camera will show it, and that niter will come right off. As you can see, that's how quick that acid works. It's already peeling it right off the bottom. So like right now, I could probably scrub that pretty easy, but it's the sides of the dividers that really, those get baked on. The heat doesn't transfer into those, so that's where the time with the acid really makes a difference. But on that bottom, it really comes off quick though. And then the float too needs some time in acid. The flue pan takes a little bit longer just because there's so much water in here that's got to get heated up, but then that stuff will come right off too. And this is generally coming off in like little chips rather than the big flakes like in that syrup pan. even that flue pan, the niter is just coming right off it right now. I got the blower shut down. I've just got a little bit of a fire kind of going in there right now, just kind of letting the natural draft work. Every now and then I close the door and kick the blower on for a second just to make sure that all the air hoses and piping underneath doesn't get too hot. But just enough to keep it simmering and keep it as warm as long as I can. But I got the front hood cleaned. That's all set. It just has to be wiped down and kind of polished. But now I got to get the two-legged boss and we'll lug out the back hood and set it out there so I can wash that one. This thing is kind of put to bed for tonight. Well, for today. I'll start working on this thing first thing in the morning. Just kind of let this hot acid soak overnight. Front hood's clean, just polish on that. Back hood's clean. I'm just gonna let this air dry out here so we don't spill water all over ourselves. But I'll lug it back in for tonight so it's not out, and then pick up a few more things. I think the kids want me to play with them for a little while, so I'll probably do that. All right, day number 3 of this project. We're trying to get everything done at home. So the first day was mostly yard work. Yesterday, I got the evaporator soaking in acid, got the hoods clean, and today I get to scrub the evaporator. But first, I need some more water down in the sugar house, so gotta get that. So I don't have running water in the sugar house, but what I do is I just put the garden hose from the house into the line that I dump the sap into, and that runs it down to the sugar house. And then I just use my little jockey pump so I can have water inside the sugar house. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the evaporator fired up because, well, those pans have cooled off. And I don't wanna work in cold water that's in the pans, so I'll heat it up. That way everything warms up. But these things are looking awesome. Everything's pretty well busted right off, so it shouldn't take a lot of work. That's not good. I got a leaking pan, and it leaked acid water everywhere back here. It looks like it's leaking right here where the drain comes out. And I can see it just running right down everything. Pinions are clean. The only thing I gotta do is I gotta pull apart this sight gauge. It didn't really flow good, so I think this is just a bunch of crud inside it, but I'm not taking that apart right now. I'm gonna go feed the kids some lunch, but floor's done. I got that done, got everything squeegeed out. I did turn the heat pump on, put that on dehumidify, so it'll dry this place out. But yeah, so the leak back here at the main drain, that thing quit leaking when the the water warmed up that was in the pan. I rinsed everything off as good as I could there. So it tells me that it's just a little crack. I use that valve there as a handle sometimes picking this thing up, and that's probably what it did, is it probably just stressed that weld on the inside. So hopefully they can just run weld around the outside. But luckily this thing's got to go back to liter anyways here next week, because I could get my bubbler put in. So it's going back, so that'll be easy. They'll be able to fix that at the same time. But syrup pan's clean. Everything actually cleaned up pretty good, probably better than last year. So it's not bad. The RO is clean, tanks are empty. Just a little bit after lunch to put some stuff away, rinse it off, the stuff that's outside, and then that's it. So, well, it's not bad. It's not the worst. It was 2 hours to clean the rig, which isn't terrible. About an hour per pan, and then probably another hour on the floor and all that stuff, squeezing the water out. But another season in the books.
I'm Bridget Dunn, Maple Expert.